I'm so excited to I'm so excited to have with me today Renee Vos
De Wael.
De Wael. I always feel terrible when I butcher someone's name, but I with Siri Chickerell, you were used to it as well. But you
Yeah.
have such a beautiful Dutch name. You are living in Calgary. How gorgeous. I feel really lucky to have someone all the way in Calgary today. Um, and you are with Sagittarius Way,
Yes, I
and
am.
it's sagittariusway.com. And um, Sagittarius Way is an animal communication authentically. Renee is open hearted, full of energy. Um, you're an animal communicator, a psychic life coach, an educator, a group facilitator. I feel like you have lots of different hats. Um, you just told me you have a house full of kids at home because we are in the middle of a pandemic in our country and in your country. Hopefully, we're gonna get out of this soon enough. I know in the United States we're feeling a little more lifted up today. Hopefully, that we're gonna get out of this pandemic sooner than later. So, welcome. Um, I am so excited. First of all, we're meeting for the first time, obviously, but really in a really fun connection um, through someone that I got to interview. Corey, you met in Japan,
Yep.
who now lives in Brussels.
Yep.
So it's just, I love when the world becomes smaller.
It
So,
does. Yeah. Yeah. And we've met up because she's an Albertan girl, so we've met up here in Calgary, out in the mountains. So it's really
well, she's
yeah.
watching or she watches. I miss her. She and I are due a little Zoom call.
Oh, here you go.
She's such a sweetheart, and
Oh, she is. Yeah,
oh,
she's
I
yeah.
adore her, and I know she connected us to be able to have this great conversation today. So
Yeah.
I love that energy.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. I want to know what you do because you contacted me right away, and I started going on your website and reading about you, and I was really intrigued. This is sort of something. I mean, I live in outside of Detroit, Michigan. Something we don't hear about.
Yeah, well, it's always kind of complicated to explain because me explaining what I do, people go like, "But how do you do that then?" So talking to animals was born within me uh, as a child. Animals were so much easier to be around for me, and it's so easier to connect, and I always would know what they were doing, and it would be really easy. And my two dogs in the
There's
background.
one of our guests.
Yeah. But so what I do is I connect with on an energetic level. I connect with animals, any animal, and I feel in on what emotional level they are, and what they have to say. So normally, of course, I meet up with clients and their animals. And the beautiful thing of animals is something that we sometimes forget is they watch us all day
Mhm.
and they see what we're doing and they see how we move around and they also notice our desires, what we would like to do, by losing some weight or moving our body more, or and then they try to help us. You get those funny stories that you want to drink less coffee, for example, and then all of a sudden the cat is going to sit on top of the coffee machine or close or keep switching off the coffee machine, and you
I love
think like,
that.
why is that happening? But that's animals communicating with us. So what I do is I connect with the animal, I connect with the human who are in the relationship, because I never think we own anything. But and then I communicate and use those information of the animal to coach the human being. So if you want to drink less coffee, then you're having the invitation of the cat that says, okay, I'm going to switch off the machine if you drink too much coffee. And if you then start questioning and being really honest, so my sessions are really on a very authentic and honest level. You go like, yeah, that was actually when he started doing, that was my fifth cup of coffee. Yeah, I should not have had that cup of coffee. And so it's really interesting to see how animals know us so well. And that's the beauty of this pandemic, is so, cool, is that everyone thought like, well, we need to get all these animals out of the rescue center, which we do, which is amazing. But the flip side is that all those animals helped us get through a tremendous
Well,
traumatic
and I
period.
was saying to you, I was saying to you, you asked me if I had any animals, and my husband and I certainly wish we could. And my kids who are allergic keep saying, "Oh, get an, we had a dog. We should have the COVID pandemic dog. Everybody's been adopting dogs."
Okay, guys, I know you got.
It's okay. They can join. They can join us. They hear us talk. See, they hear us talking about them,
Yeah,
and they're like, I want to get in on this.
yeah.
But I do think it's interesting. I think during this time, um, rescuing, and some people rescue, some people go through, breeders. A lot of people have brought animals into their home. I always do worry when we get out of this, though. Our animals are very used to us being home and working from home.
Yeah.
There's a lot of conversation about when we go back out of our office, back to our offices, these animals, any animal in your house is going to be like, where did everybody go? Or are they going to enjoy that?
Well, I think there will be a
Balance of,
combination of balance there.
yeah,
I'm pretty sure a lot of the animals will be happy to see us, um, you know, getting back into our own routine, because
yeah,
our routine was also something that made us happy, right, and brought us joy.
right.
But
And I
they
would
will
imagine
point
they
out,
sense that. I mean, they
yeah,
sense that, back in last February or March, where there was all, I remember seeing all these stories about dogs and cats. They're like, why are these people home all of a sudden? What are they doing home in my space? I'm used to the house by myself, that.
yeah.
And now, it will one day be the reverse. I guess my big question is, do you particularly work with all animals, or are there some animals that work better with this process?
No, in principle, I work with any animal, and what I really like doing is introducing people to new kinds of animals. So I have an animal fellowship. I'm a big Harry Potter fan. Sorry. So and so I bring a group of people together, and then we connect and figure out animals on that level. So we'll connect with a bobcat, for example, which here walk through my garden, but it's not something I get an invitation from the bobcat to sit next to him and pet him. I don't think that would be a good idea. Or I'll go to the zoo and connect with animals in the zoo, which was surprisingly to me that there is a big group of animals in the zoo, especially these days, because zoos are becoming so much better in taking care of animals. They're extremely happy there, and they love their caretakers, and they love how they can offer something to humans that visit them. And the other thing that I also love working with clients is our zodiac. So here in North America, we have this beautiful animal system zodiac, instead of the way we have it in the Western world with Sagittarius
Right.
and the Chinese, who also work with animals. But here in North America, we have this beautiful a system at the moment. So at the moment, we went from the winter goose into the otter. So I just had a whole presentation and meditation what the gift of the otter is. The otter always wants us to play. So to connect with different animals, so even if you don't have an animal, I can really work with people and connect them with animals that are in their lives. Um, a lot of New Yorkers love their pigeons probably because they wake them up in the morning and they have chats with them,
Right.
and and they're so part of their way of living. Yeah, it animals are everywhere, and they want to talk to us. They have lots to say. So yeah, the invitation is there for everyone.
Is it is it the reverse in that um an animal feeds off our energy?
Yeah, yeah, they're
Uh,
kind of a mirror, right? So
yeah.
it is feeding off in a way, but it's also a mirror. So if we are really nervous and anxious, that's what they are going to adapt, and they go like, okay, we're being nervous and frazzled here. So it's a mirror effect,
Yeah.
more. Yeah, and then they go into that mirror and like, oh, we are apparently nervous.
So
And
like and I feel like that like sometimes when um people will say, well, I'm training my dog, or I'm we have a new dog and we're adapting. I'm like, well, like if you calm down, so
yeah,
will the dog,
yeah, yeah,
there seems to be like, if you're living up here, the dog's gonna, or
yeah,
the cat, or you
yeah.
just sort of have to um, be a little calmer for what you want, or it's like raising a baby.
It is. Well, it is in a way. And you used to ride horses, so I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure when you would go into the paddock and you weren't really grounded yet and really arrived at the
you
barn
felt the
yet.
nerves.
Yeah. And then the
Yeah,
horse was like, "Yeah, I'm not coming,"
right.
and they would,
No,
start
it's
pulling
true.
on.
And I was telling you that I did. I used to and it's funny, as old as I am, I remember I loved this one particular horse that I used to ride. His name was Charlie Brown. It's very funny that just came back to me, but um I for some particular reason I felt calm on this particular horse, but I'm sure that it just was me. And so in your mind, you get in your mind, like, I'm calm on that horse, so that's the horse I want to
Yeah,
ride, and
yeah,
that's it. Now, as a good coach or a good instructor, they're going to put you on other horses, and they're going to, which they
yeah,
did, and then you get a little more anxious.
yeah,
And but that's the beauty of that, is you learn to adapt and become calmer as well.
yeah.
And I think when you see young kids around dogs and they're frightened, it's sort of also teaching them to sort of calm down. And
Yeah.
because chances are the dog was calm, it's
Yeah.
that anxiousness.
Well,
um,
it's the same with us people. There are not really bad people, you know.
no.
It's the same with animals. There are not really bad animals, but there could be bad circumstances or bad trauma experiences that they have that will create a bad behavior, and you can reverse that, as you can do, as we all can do, because every day we have a choice to start differently and get a
Well, I
different.
love the fact that animals are being are and I don't mean used in a bad way, but I mean are helping more as service animals, but going into hospitals and helping more along those lines, because I think there's comfort in that, and in healing with that. I think there's such a great need for different ways of helping people heal.
Oh,
And
absolutely. Yeah.
so I love when I see stories about that. And I know here in some of the cancer wards, they're able to bring in animals, and it sort of takes people out of that element of scary and brings in this warmth, a different warmth.
Yeah, and then your body starts making, the happy hormones, and
Mhm.
bringing down adrenaline and anxiety. So then your body can heal from all that, and it's just from bringing in a puppy or a fluffy dog or a cat,
Yeah.
and yeah, they are, thank God they're doing a lot of research about it as well. And
Yeah.
I love it that we now get data that shows us what animals are actually bringing to us, and offering us for free. You know, they're there. They're like, you, I'm here. Let me help.
So before I let you go, I just have a couple, um how do your sessions work? Like when someone calls you or finds you, like is it an hour? Is it two? I mean, how does it work?
Well, there are two different routes you can take. So one is someone comes with an animal and wants to communicate and has questions, or there has been trauma, or there's something the vet can't figure out, illness. That takes normally an hour, and we zoom in on the animal and we work on that specific topic. And within an hour, we can do quite a bit. Normally, there is one or maybe two follow-ups, and then we say it's a wrap, so to speak. The other thing that I love doing is a longer journey.
Mhm.
So we work with the animal, with the human, and we create a coaching program on what the animal's seeing that is happening in the house, or what's happening in life, and we tackle them. So we have this beautiful onion and we layer down every layer, what is happening. We're building the relationship between you and your cat, or you and your horse, and it's a beautiful development. So I'm helping a young rider in the Netherlands at the moment who is working with a young horse, and we are slowly figuring out things, what the horse is telling her, what he needs and what she needs. And like you said, she needed to calm down, she needed to work on her heart rhythm before she started going into a competition. So we
Yeah.
worked on that. So the horse then gives feedback and says like, oh, I really love that you were so calm, and your thoughts were, I could follow your thoughts, and then they were getting better results in their
Yeah.
competition. um,
And I see that with athletes where, and I've interviewed many coaches that work with athletes, and I think that this is just one of those areas where, you know, equestrians, they can't just work on themselves. They have to work with their
Together.
tools, and in
Yeah.
this case, their tool is the
Yeah.
most important part is their horse, you
Yeah,
know.
exactly,
And I've read
exactly.
a little bit about that. In that they they have to be able to communicate with their horse,
Yeah,
and have that one-on-one, love. I mean, they already
yeah,
have the love for the horse, but they have to be able to communicate with their horse and feel comfortable. So it's an amazing. Um, we find you, Renee, at Sagittarius Way
yeah.
at
dot
dot
com.
com.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Don't forget that. You are in beautiful Calgary.
I
Um,
am. Yeah, can you see my rosy cheeks? It's been so cold here.
It's been cold,
Yeah.
and I have to tell you, I just made a comment that we have been gloom and doom here in Michigan, but the sun is shining today. I'm so like the sun is actually coming through my office window. It's freezing cold out, but I don't care because when the sun is shining, it just makes you happy.
Absolutely. Well, I wanted to offer, if people are, zooming in later on Facebook and watching
Yeah,
this, they can leave a question if they want to about their animal, and I will do my best to answer it. And
perfect.
then, they can have a little taste of that.
So perfect. Well, I've tagged you here on my business page, and I'm going to shoot this over like I always do to my personal page
Yeah,
and tag you both there and put your website. And so, people, please leave questions for Renee about your animals. I have lots of friends who have adopted during this time.
good.
I, my friends have lots of new puppies out there. I'm trying to think if anyone has horses. I don't know about that, considering we're in a little more metropolitan area, but lots of dogs and cats for sure. So
Absolutely.
I will let people know to leave their questions for you. I love this time. I love our connection, how we've met.
Yeah.
Um, and I hope to talk to you soon. Let's do
Yeah,
this
me too.
again.
Me too. Have a
All
wonderful
right.
day.
Have a great day.
Yes, thank you. Bye.